A wave of emotion has swept across Hollywood and beyond after Ripa broke her silence about one of the most terrifying moments in her life, the near loss of her husband, Mark Consuelos. The beloved television host, who has long been known for her humor, poise, and candor on Live with Kelly and Mark, revealed details about a health scare that left her shaken to her core. For years, fans have admired Kelly and Mark's picture-perfect marriage, two stars who balance fame, family, and love in front of millions. But behind the laughter and the cameras, there was a night that almost changed everything. Kelly's revelation came during a recent heartfelt segment of her show. Viewers were expecting another lighthearted morning, the kind of easy banter and everyday anecdotes that have made her one of daytime's most trusted voices. Instead, the studio fell silent as Kelly's tone shifted. Her words trembled, her eyes glistened, and for the first time in years, she let the world see a side of her rarely revealed. A wife terrified she might lose the love of her life. "It was one of those moments," Kelly said softly, pausing to gather herself, "when you realize everything could be gone in an instant." She was speaking of a night she now calls the scariest of her life, when Mark suffered a sudden and severe medical episode at home. According to Kelly, it started as an ordinary evening. The couple had just finished dinner, and Mark had gone upstairs, complaining of feeling a little lightheaded. Kelly, thinking it was exhaustion from his busy schedule, didn't think much of it, until she heard a loud crash moments later. Running up the stairs, she found Mark unconscious. "I remember screaming his name, shaking him, and nothing," Kelly said through tears. "He was just still. And I thought, this is it. This is how I lose him." She described calling 911 in a panic, her hands trembling as she tried to explain to the dispatcher what was happening. Their kids, who were home at the time, watched in horror as paramedics rushed through the front door. For Kelly, those few minutes, waiting for help to arrive, felt like hours. "I kept thinking, please just breathe," she whispered. "Please don't take him from us." Mark was rushed to the hospital, where doctors worked quickly to stabilize him. For several hours, Kelly says she sat alone in the waiting room, praying, replaying every moment in her mind, wondering if she had missed any warning signs. "You think you're prepared for anything," she said. "But when you see someone you love more than life itself lying there, unresponsive, nothing can prepare you for that." Eventually, doctors told her that Mark had suffered a sudden cardiac episode, brought on by a combination of exhaustion, dehydration, and high stress. The diagnosis left Kelly both relieved and shaken. "They said we were lucky, that if I hadn't found him when I did, things could have gone very differently," she recalled. The word lucky has never meant more to her. When Mark finally regained consciousness, Kelly said she burst into tears of relief. "He looked at me and said, 'Why are you crying?' And I just laughed through my tears. I told him, 'Because I thought you were gone.'" For days afterward, Kelly says she couldn't sleep, replaying the night in her mind. She hovered around Mark constantly, afraid something might happen again. "It changes you," she confessed. "You stop taking the little things for granted. Suddenly, every morning you wake up beside that person feels like a gift." Mark, known for his stoic strength, later spoke out about the incident too, sharing how the experience gave him a new perspective. "It was a wake-up call," he said quietly. "I've always pushed myself, workouts, travel, work, late nights. But the body eventually says, 'Enough.' I realized I wasn't invincible." In the weeks following the scare, the couple decided to take a step back from their usual fast-paced lifestyle. Kelly shared that they now focus more on their health and mental well-being. "We've started taking daily walks together, eating differently, resting more," she said. "We talk about things we used to push aside. It's amazing how something so terrifying can bring you closer." Fans were quick to flood social media with messages of love and support. Hashtags like #PrayForMark and #StayStrongKelly trended for days. Viewers who had followed their love story since All My Children found themselves emotionally invested all over again, not just in the celebrity couple, but in their raw human vulnerability. Kelly, always candid, admitted that she hesitated before going public with the story. "I didn't want to make it about us," she said. "But I also know there are so many families who go through moments like this, moments where everything you thought was certain suddenly isn't. And if our experience can remind even one person to check on their health, to slow down, then it's worth sharing." Behind the scenes, Friends say Kelly was deeply shaken but remarkably strong. One close friend described her as the rock in the storm. Even when fear gripped her, she remained focused on Mark's recovery. Those who know Kelly and Mark say the ordeal has made their marriage even stronger. They've always been close, one insider said. But now there's a tenderness between them. A deeper kind of love that comes only when you've stared loss in the face and come out the other side. Since the incident, Mark has returned to work and continues to co-host Live alongside Kelly. But viewers have noticed subtle changes. There's a gentleness in how they speak to each other, an unspoken gratitude in every smile exchanged. During one recent episode when Mark made a light-hearted joke about cheating death, Kelly reached out and touched his hand. The moment was brief, but it said everything: love, fear, relief, and thankfulness, all in one look. The couple has also started using their platform to raise awareness about heart health and the dangers of stress. It's something people don't talk about enough, Kelly said. We all glorify being busy, the hustle, the grind, the nonstop work. But your heart can only take so much. I want people to know it's okay to slow down. The experience has also influenced Kelly's outlook on life and career. For years, I've been the kind of person who says yes to everything, every project, every event, she explained. But now I'm learning to say no. Because every no to something less important is a yes to the people I love. Mark echoed that sentiment. When something like this happens, you realize that the most valuable thing isn't fame or money. It's time with your family, time to breathe, time to just be. Kelly's emotional confession struck a chord with audiences because it pulled back the curtain on a truth that even celebrities can't escape. Life is fragile, unpredictable, and deeply precious. The couple, who once symbolized effortless perfection, now stand as a testament to resilience, faith, and the healing power of love. At the end of her emotional story, Kelly took a deep breath and smiled through tears. He's okay now, she said. And every morning when I see him, I thank God. Because I know how close I came to losing everything. The audience, many of them visibly moved, rose in applause, not for the TV host, but for the woman who had just shared her heart. It wasn't the polished delivery of a performer or the rehearsed tone of a celebrity. It was the raw, trembling honesty of a wife who had faced her worst fear and come out grateful.